Many modern office laser printers have technology built in so that they can clear paper jams themselves. In some cases, you may need to remove the jam on your own. In today's printer maintenance instructions, we'll be reviewing the correct procedure for clearing paper jams in today's modern office laser printers to prevent damage and to get the printer back up and running. But before we begin, make sure you join the thousands of other top technicians and get our monthly how-to tips at Service News by email. Subscribe at metrofuser.com. And if you find these videos helpful, please consider supporting us so we can continue helping you. Now, we'll start this procedure by making sure the printer is off and unplugged. Removing a fuser while the printer is on will catastrophically damage the fuser. You'll need a new fuser. You may also void the warranty of the fuser. Now, also make sure the printer is off or has been off for about a half hour and cooled. These fusers operate at temperatures about 400 F and can cause severe burns. Couple notes: never use anything sharp to clear paper jams. These rollers and the lower pressure roller and sleeve are very sensitive, and any damage to them will show up as image defects on all future print. So first, before doing any of this, you really want to check the printer's control panel to see. A lot of times it'll tell you where the jam exactly is located. There's paper sensors along the paper path that are triggered by any type of paper jam. So always check the control panel first. Now we'll go through the top 9 locations of paper jams. In a typical office laser printer, you'll have the tray 1 assembly, usually located in front. You'll have paper that may get jammed up right behind it. The paper feed assembly, which is behind tray 1, you also may get located in there or jammed up in there. And the transfer guide area, which is just further back a little bit. So as you can see, moving the toner cartridge will give you access to all these areas. Now on the tray 1 area, if it does get jammed behind the tray 1, that's a pretty decent job. You'll need to remove the tray 1 assembly to clear the paper jam. Now we'll get to the fusing area. We'll rotate this printer around. This is a pretty common one. This is the heart of the printer. And in this one, you may have to remove some of the back doors to access it. We'll remove this fuser now. And this is you can see the internal paper bath as well as a typical fusing assembly. Now the last one of the main areas lastly is the output assembly. That paper travels up from the fuser, wraps around, and then comes out. So that may be that door that's typically there. You'll just pull it down and it'll expose any type of paper jam. And then in addition, if you happen to have a duplex or a optional feeder tray, those are also areas that you would want to check as well. Now when you do locate a paper jam, you want to grab the paper evenly and confidently and pull slowly until it is removed. Now, ideally, that's the way it would work. Sometimes there's a lot of tension between the lower pressure roller and the sleeve, so you may happen to have any type of tear. If the paper does tear, you want to make sure that you remove any of the paper scraps, get that out of the paper path. Next, clearing paper jams in hard to reach locations. So in this instance, we're going to pull up a 9000 and we'll drop down the front door. And there's a number of locations and devices on here. You can see there's a lever that lifts up the toner cartridge and exposes the paper jams that may be near the fuser. So we'll clear that out. And again, any type of paper scraps that are in there, you want to remove that as well. Now, as noted, some of these printers will have green knobs or some type of jam removal knobs, which you can rotate. There's one for the fuser and there's one for the registration area. And that'll rotate the paper up and out and give you better access to it. And again, further on some printers, some of the newer printers, there's drop-down buttons which will drop down assemblies and give you better access and more visibility to reach paper jams. Now, paper jams and the fusers, some fusers will have like a fuser jam removal knob. You'll just rotate that. You could also, if you have a bit of strength, you could rotate the gears to drive that piece of paper or any debris out of the paper path. And any type, at this point, any parts you want to reinstall back on the printer, turn it on, let it cycle through a couple times to make sure it's cleared the paper path or cleared the jam. If you happen to have a recurring problem, it may be time to change out some printer parts. Whether it be fuser or maintenance kit, there's a number of rollers and separation pads that may be causing the malfunction. There's things that are called maintenance kits that can be replaced, which have the top worn parts, and along with the fuser, that you replace those, and that'll get the printer back up and running. Now, as far as prevention, paper jam prevention, a couple notes. In the paper tray, you do not want to fill the paper tray all the way to the top. You want to kind of just get it to the point where it's maybe a quarter inch below the level, the height level, and then that'll prevent some paper jams. Fanning the paper, so fanning the ream of paper, getting some air between those sheets is a very good idea. Prevents a lot of misfeeds. And on these paper trays, you can see these mechanisms. You want to make sure that they are set at the optimal point for whatever size paper you're using. That's another cause. A lot of times when somebody slams a paper drawer, the mechanisms fall out of alignment, so check that. And then finally, quality paper is very important. We recommend Color Lock or BLI certified paper. This is a standardization for paper that these companies must follow. It's a very good quality, very consistent type of paper, and we use that for all of our testing. There's a whole section, I'll give you a link in the comment section below. It'll go into the science of paper and how it affects the printer's health. So a couple other notes. Laser printers, you really want to keep them indoor in environmentally controlled space, avoid humidity, and just basic maintenance. Cleaning the printer, keeping it, clearing out any toner dust, paper dust is all recommended. And that is it. We want to thank you for watching and have a good day.